Well, here we are again. Well, I laugh because I'm so excited about today's episode. Hello, everyone. Will Ellis, If You Build It, the podcast.
And Riyad Ali.
This podcast, again, though people don't want to do this opening, it's very important that we do it each and every episode, okay? This podcast celebrates business leaders, entrepreneurs, and shows you their journey to where they are today. There is high risk. There is sometimes little reward at the beginning, but ultimately at the end, you'll have a person that's happy and doing what they enjoy doing. Today's guest, which I've known Jonathan now, Walsh, for I think 11 or 12 years. I worked at Yellow Pages over a decade ago. Met Jonathan. He was the boss of me.
The boss.
A newbie.
We have to go into that, Jonathan.
A newbie. Selling
we can go there.
Online ads and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then I heard during COVID, saw it online, that he was into his new business of making bread.
Not just any bread.
The
Sourdough.
best bread. Sourdough bread. The best bread. Bread's insane.
We're going to change the name of your podcast to If You Bake It next. You guys can build it, but let's make If You Bake It if that works.
Yes. So again, welcome, Jonathan.
Thank you very much.
To If You Build It, the podcast. Riyad will have question number 1.
Well, first, what's your business called?
Oh, yes.
I'm called BreadChubby.
And why BreadChubby?
Well, I can't answer that. Is this a family-rated show?
Ish. Yeah.
Well, it's obvious, right? If you eat bread, sometimes you can get chubby. But but that's not true.
Chubby like me or
Chubby,
the other chubby?
Well, that's the part that we're not going to talk about today. But it was my Instagram name for a long time, and then when I stumbled into baking sourdough, doing bread, I kept with it and said, you know what? I'm just going to launch the name BreadChubby. So,
how did you stumble into? Because I have.
I was supposed to ask question 1.
Okay, so I thought you did. I thought you already did. Is this question number 2?
I'm only joking.
Okay,
Go ahead.
that was a joke.
it's 1A.
Riyad, hey, everyone, hey, guess what, everyone? Riyad, Jonathan, you're singing for the first time.
Yes.
Riyad's making jokes. So, but how do you stumble into bread? Because your background is in sales. Like, what happened?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I started the whole process with one of my coworker, the job that I was working at just before COVID sort of hit.
Okay.
And we were just talking about bread, and he's like, "Oh, I used to get these cheese and onion buns." And I'm like,
So why are two men talking about
That's just
I'm joking.
What else do you talk about when you get up there, right? So I said, you know what? His name was Larry. I said, Larry, I'll make you some. I'll get my starter going again, and I'll make you some cheese buns. And that got me baking the bread and just reviving my starter and getting it going. And there's more to it, but that's initially how it sort
What's
of
a starter?
started.
So I know what for our viewers.
Yeah.
What's a starter?
Okay, so bread uses yeast to rise.
Right.
And so a sourdough starter, is a naturally curated yeast. It comes from the air, if you will. So it's really just flour and water.
Right.
And then you grow it, and it contains good bacteria, which helps balance pH and acidity, et cetera, et cetera. And then you just maintain it by feeding it flour and water again. So it's really just flour and water, and that starter is what's used to leaven to lift my bread.
So why sourdough of all breads?
I don't know. I just always baked sourdough.
Okay.
Like, I love things with yeast. I always I've brewed my own beer. I've made mead. I've always had a fascination.
You made meat?
Mead.
Oh, mead.
It's honey.
I heard meat.
Yeah. No. It's fermenting honey and water.
Okay.
And so, I've always dabbled in playing with stuff like that. And then the sourdough starter, come the pandemic,
right,
was like super popular.
Right.
And then I thought, oh, well, you know what? I started making more. I was just getting a little bit busier with it. Just family and friends, nothing crazy. And then I thought, I'll pay it forward. I'll show people how to make sourdough. But nobody really wanted to learn how to make sourdough. They just wanted to eat it. So,
True.
Yeah. So, pulling my sales and marketing background, I built my own website and launched BreadChubby to the public.
And how long has it been now?
Over 2 years now.
Just 2 years? Really?
Well, yeah, over 2 years. So that could be me more than 3 about 3, maybe 3.
Feels like a lot longer.
It is.
Doesn't it?
It does, but I don't think it is really. I think it's probably going into my third year. My memory's not very good. I've got 4 kids. Life's not easy for me. I'm old.
We're all old.
So tell us the moment where you're like, this is what I want to do. Like making sourdough bread and as a billing as a business, going full-fledged into it. Like, what was that defining moment?
I still have those defining moments all the time. And
That's
I'll tell you why. Every time someone eats my bread and they tell me, and I'm not trying to be arrogant or whatever, but lots of people can make bread. But whenever someone tells me that was the best bread they've ever had, I feel like I hit a home run. I feel like I'm in I don't watch baseball, but I feel like I'm in the baseball league, and I've just hit that home run like every single time.
Right.
So that's great. That personal satisfaction. I put something together. I made it with my hands, and then I gave it to them. I baked it, obviously, and I gave it to him, and then we're like back and like, it's just bread. Like, that's all it is. But they go, man, that was the best bread I've ever had. I feel fantastic.
I've had your bread before. It's pretty spectacular.
It's amazing.
Thank you.
It's insane.
Thank
The
you.
bread that you made for Thanksgiving last year that I had.
Yeah, the apple one?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you said do it with brie, so we did it with brie. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Life altering.
Yeah, I kind of specialize in inclusions in the technical bake speak, right? So I add cheese, jalapeno and cheese. For Christmas, I'm doing, I have it out now, but a cranberry with brie cheese and stuff. So there's all kinds of different, I love adding a little different flavors or experimenting.
I want to order 2 of those. Thank you.
Yeah, add 2 for me as well.
Yeah, 4.
Yeah. So that I like coming up and creating new stuff that way. And it's very fulfilling. So whenever someone appreciates what you're doing, and when you're working a 9-to-5 job or you're working at a corporation, you're a number.
True.
You get thanks. Sometimes you don't get thanks. You do a good job, you work your ass off, but you don't necessarily get a thanks.
I think we all kind of came from that world too, right?
exactly.
Now we're all entrepreneurs and
You're as good as your last sale, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
So this kind of has made me realize that making my own product, putting myself out there, it's my blood, sweat, and tears that goes into that bread, and someone loves it. Home run. Doesn't have to be $1 million sale. It's just a quick, it's a $8 loaf. Someone loves it. It's like hitting a home run.
And what's the perception been like with your friends and family? Like, were they like really making bread for a living? Like, was that a thing, or was everybody for it?
I think they're all sick and tired of me talking about bread, because that's probably all that I do.
Yeah.
It's all that I think about, unfortunately. At the moment, while I'm growing my business, I'm all in, right? So I got to put everything into it. And so, yeah, I think they're probably tired of it. My kids sometimes eat my bread, sometimes they don't, because I don't know what's wrong with them.
They're used to it.
Yeah, they do. They get it all the time. My son, however, will eat a loaf on his own, every day, no problem at all.
One of those big.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Good for him for being young.
Yeah,
I can do that today.
I couldn't do that either.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they're kind of sick and tired of flour being in the house or dough everywhere. My wife complains to me because I've got dough stuck on the wall and things like that. But we're still together.
So what? Yeah, like how do you manage a family of 4?
Yeah,
a wife. You still have another job.
I do.
Plus this. Like, what does a day look like, or a week look like for you?
It's pretty heavy. I have early mornings, so I'm up at either 4:30 or 3:30 to bake. After I've done baking, then I go do, depending on the day, I go work at my other job, which is working for a food safety online.
So.
Yeah, so it's handy,
That's
right?
great, yeah.
Really good. Fulfilling work. Yeah, and it's just packed. There's not a lot of social life for me at the moment, to be honest.
So thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, we know we appreciate this.
Yeah, it's tough. I will say that, because you're just working all the time, but I'm providing for my family, so I got to do what it takes. You know what I mean, to make it happen. And I have a lot of faith. I go to church. I believe in God. I believe in praying, and I tell you, being an entrepreneur, I prayed so many times, a lot of times.
Yeah.
But I just keep going, because I feel like I'm doing some good. It's doing me good at the same time. Yeah, it's tiring, but
But it's fulfilling.
It is. I'm not gonna. I don't know what that cliche is. If it's work, but it's like not work, right? Because
Yes.
I can't even recall.
I feel that way about real estate sometimes.
Yeah.
Not today, though.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, yeah, but not today.
Yeah.
No,
But I know. Yeah, we know what we're saying.
No, but I'm still like that.
No, 100%. No,
I'm still like that.
you have to, in order to work for yourself, I believe, and now I think you do it. Time is your only thing that you can control. And also with that, you realize how much you love what you're doing. Where before you wouldn't give, the amount of time to your 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
In order to be the master of your craft and to do what you're doing, you're giving all the time that you can to your business.
And constantly reinventing, right?
Yeah, trying new things, trying to perfect what you're doing. And your time is yours, and you don't necessarily get to charge for it sometimes, right?
True.
But you just got to put it in. It's the way it goes. If I was charging for my time, my loaves would be like $50, $60 a loaf.
It's true.
Right? Not possible.
True. So when you wake up at 3:30 in the morning, what time do you go to bed?
I go to bed about 8 o'clock. I feel tired about 7:30, but I try to hang in there. I go to bed. I kind of unwind. I do listen to like sleep music or something to help take my mind off thinking. Because that's a problem when you're constantly thinking all the time.
Yep.
Of course.
So I try to like listen to some music that just blanks out the brain a little bit, and then I fall asleep. I don't sleep very well, to be honest.
What does that mean?
I might get 3 hours solid sleep a day.
A day.
I do sleep, like I come in and out, but my clock is off, right? My body wants to stay up, but I would need to go to bed. And then when I'm up in the morning.
Yeah, you need to be, we had Ken in episode 2 of I don't know if this podcast, you've heard of it. If you build it, the podcast.
Where do I find that?
It's somewhere on YouTube and Apple and Spotify. Okay. But we had him on, Ken from Be Elite in Pickering.
Okay.
And he can help you with that.
Oh.
It's pretty much magnesium.
Yeah.
Or some form of allowing you. I'm like that. When I lie on my pillow, my brain's still doing this, right? Like, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. I gotta send this email. How do I close that deal? Or, anything like that. So I take magnesium before I sleep, and I'm out cold.
Yeah. I mean, it's difficult because you're up early, right? And then you just got to kind of go with it.
So is that an issue because of your modified sleep schedule, or has this always been an issue with the sleeping?
No, I think it's my modified sleep schedule.
Yeah. I couldn't do the 3:30. Like I woke up, I think they go to the bathroom. Like I could sleep in seconds.
Yeah.
Don't struggle to sleep. Sleep for hours if it need be. So when I see people that struggle with sleep, I'm like, I have my phone by my bed. So if I do wake up and I have a thought, I literally email myself, go back to sleep, and then I do it in the morning. Like that's how crazy I've become.
Yeah.
Because I need I don't sleep. I sleep like 5 or 6 good hours a day, which I've told is not enough by Ken. But even still, it's enough for me.
Yeah. I drift in and out sometimes.
Right. You take naps?
Sometimes, if I can, I take naps. But so I moved to my own new space.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I was renting a space.
Right.
But now I moved to my own space. So I don't take naps at the moment.
Right.
But sometimes, if you're really tired.
Is the new space just a bakery or a kitchen, or is it something that's front facing that you can bring in people to buy bread?
It was a space that was like a play center before.
Okay.
So I've kind of like converted it. So it's kind of split in two. And on let's say the right side is where I do all my baking and production. And on the left side, there's opportunity for like a retail space. It's not very drive-by friendly because it's kind of like tucked in the back of a building, but it works for me.
Right. Interesting. So now how do people get your product?
So my bread is sold at a bunch of different locations.
Yes, I just saw it at Buckingham's.
Yeah, Buckingham's in Brooklyn and in Oshawa.
Yep. Oh, Oshawa too. Great.
Yeah, I've got 3 locations in Bowmanville.
Kyle's as well, right?
Kyle's Quality Meats.
Yep, I see it. Saw it there.
Brewer's Pantry, Price's Country Market, in Ajax.
In Basket,
Yeah. Baking at its Best, where I first got my start.
Right.
They still sell my bread. Yeah. Bean and Basket. Biscuits to Baskets.
The baskets.
All the baskets.
Yeah, they make sandwiches from it.
Yeah.
If you go to Goldie's Cafe, you can get bread bowls made with sourdough.
All near my house. This is good.
Yeah. There's lots of
really
a lot of places. Tyrone Mills.
Okay. That's when we first met you.
We did our first film there.
That's right.
Yeah. So, a lot of really great spaces. Bantering Co-op in Brooklyn too. Right?
Yes,
You guys are very familiar with James up there. It's going really good.
And that. Oh, go Red. You have a question? I've asked enough. Go ahead.
No. So Was there ever a day where you said, this is not for me, where you wanted to call it quits, or it's too hard, or you're exhausted and you said, this is it, I'm finished?
There's been doubtful days.
Yeah.
I struggle with new ovens, learning a new oven from what I was used to. And that I thought I could just walk in, turn the lights on, click the oven on, and throw my bread in. It would come out perfect. And it has not been coming out perfect. It's been a struggle getting it to the way it's supposed to be. It's always kind of a work in progress, and you're tinkering little things all the time. But I'm not going to lie. I set off the fire alarms a couple of times. I've had a couple of visits from the Ajax Whitby fire chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point it was like, I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Like, this is a mistake. Maybe I shouldn't have done this.
Right.
But I just took my time, took a bit of breathing and said, I've got this. I just got to work through it and keep on going. And then the next day gets better.
Right.
So sometimes you just got to hang on, ride the wave for a little bit, and then you come out on top. So it's been difficult, but I won't change a thing at this point.
Okay, good. That's good, because I think that's the biggest thing. Entrepreneurship is really hard.
Yeah.
Right. So interesting. So when you are not working, I don't know when that is. When you're sleeping for the 3 hours, or driving to and from your other job to making bread to your family. When you have a few minutes to yourself, what do you do to relax? Or if you could have a few minutes,
there you go.
what can you do
that's a better question, right?
There you go.
Yeah. The relaxing part comes when I go to bed, actually. So I will, I'll watch some YouTube videos. I like to see people that go like camping and stuff, because I don't really get to go camping, but I do love camping. So I like watching videos of guys going camping or doing stuff like that. I mean, that is always nice. On the weekends, sometimes on a Sunday, I do go. I don't bake on a Sunday, so I still have to go in and do some work. But I like to go for a walk in the Whitby or Durham forests and stuff like that. So I do like nature. I just don't get out in it very much.
Right.
But yeah, I love listening to music. Music throughout the day is my. I don't know. It just keeps me going.
Do you have a baking playlist?
I do. So I love. My musical taste is weird, but for a whitey guy, but I love.
I had no idea you were white.
Yeah,
No.
I know it's hard to believe.
I know, it's shocking.
It's dancehall reggae, right?
It is. I love reggae. I love. I love soca.
To Pickering. Come
Oh,
on.
there you go. Soca,
Yeah,
there
I
you go.
love soca. Right now, I'm listening to a channel. I think it's in France. It's called Energy Radio.
You know what? I've heard of, yes.
Energy Reggae, and it's
Energy Reggae,
fantastic.
yes.
Okay, I gotta look
Really,
at this.
really good.
I think is it on Spotify?
It's on TuneIn.
TuneIn, yes.
So, what's your favorite soca song?
My favorite soca song?
Yeah, I'm curious.
I like soca from like 2015. So, I mean, I love Nyla Blackman. She's fantastic. I saw her in concert. She's amazing. But Machel Montano,
Yeah.
like there's a whole bunch.
I
Patrice
know none of
Roberts,
this.
love her stuff. Her videos are terrible, but her music is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Dancehall, reggae.
Have you been to a concert?
Yeah, I went to the Soca Village 2 years ago.
Wow.
yeah.
So I wanted to see his reaction to you liking soca. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, it was great. So
Well, so he's gonna go to Carnival this year and dance.
That's how like. Do I like? I can listen to it, but I'm an old person. I like my R&B. I love my 90s.
Yeah.
That's all I listen to. I think it's the best time for music. The end.
Yeah, I'm not a huge the dance hall today. I'm not totally into.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
I
old
like the
school,
reggae
90s.
revival, like
Right.
Protege, Chronics, those kind of guys. They're nicer tunes to me, right? That
Are you
stuff I
from Trinidad? No.
like. No, I'm not.
Had to ask because Joseph was like, I don't know. I know all these artists too. Joseph behind the camera, Mr. Producer here.
Yeah.
Born in Trinidad, came here on a raft. Yeah,
Wow.
wonderful. Spinning his tunes out with the boombox over his right shoulder. Yeah, it's amazing.
Having some doubles under one arm,
there you go.
right? And some Florida in his back pocket.
Feeding the fish, whatever is in the doubles. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
See, this you guys should go to a concert together.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, there you are.
That's amazing. So, what if someone is or someone's supposed to start their new business?
Mhm.
Because this is something that you started less than 3 years ago.
Yeah.
What's your number one tip?
Don't give up on your dream.
Is that the same if it's food or anything?
Anything.
Okay.
If you have a vision for something that you want to do, don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it. Don't let anybody stop you from doing what you want to achieve. You can pull the plug on yourself, but don't let anybody else talk you out of doing something you want to pursue. Got to be realistic in life. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you got to pay bills. You got to do what you have to do in that regard. But if you got something out there that you want to do, then pursue it, and then figure it out, and then do it. And then if it doesn't work out, you've learned from that. You'll find something else. But don't let people. Sometimes people can be great, and I've got a lot of great support. But sometimes people can be not so great.
That's where I was going to go. I go, have you had any negative comments or negative feedback about your bread?
Sometimes I get it. And I have to like appreciate those moments because people don't always tell you when you don't do something great. And I'm super critical of my product. If it doesn't look a certain way, I can't taste every bread that goes out, but you know what I mean? I go by look and the shape and all that type of stuff. And I'm hypersensitive to how that goes out. And sometimes I have to do what I have to do and I put it out there, but you always hope that it tastes great. And luckily for me, it's been tasting great. So sometimes it comes out in odd ways. Sourdough's kind of like that. It's unpredictable. Right. Weather changes, temperature gets cold, humidity, all those things screw up sourdough sometimes.
Right.
But for the most part, the flavor's usually on point. So I'm okay. Good. My starter name is Bethany. Okay, she's the mother of all my dough, and she has not disappointed me. I maintain like 3 liters of starter every day. I feed it every day, 3 liters of it to keep up with the bread that I'm making.
And where did Bethany come from? The name?
Oh, my daughter came up with it. I think I launched a contest, like, name the starter, and Bethany won. Well, that was the name that won.
Interesting. Back to your whole thing. So when you started this bread thing, you just did it on your own solely, right?
Yeah.
You didn't really think it would be anything.
No, I was just.
What was the turning point? When was the moment when you realized this could be a thing for you?
There was social media.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I put a post up in Facebook on the Durham Region Eats.
Oh, the
love DRE,
big
right?
Group. And I thought, okay, this was right at the height of the pandemic when nobody could go anywhere. Everybody was ordering everything online. Like, it was ridiculous. And I thought, well, you know what? I'll just throw it up there. I'll see what happens. And I believe that I got about 80 orders of bread inside of 2 weeks. And I was baking 2 loaves at a time in my home oven.
Wow.
And people were doing porch pickup. And it was crazy. I was backed up for 2 months. And that's when I realized, wow, man, these people are loving it. I was getting great feedback. They were all into it. And I thought,
how were you able to bake? You told us this the last time. I'm just trying to figure out, how long does it take to bake a sourdough loaf?
40 minutes.
And it has to be, so in a oven in your home.
Yeah.
You can only put in the 1?
2 at a time.
You cannot do 4.
Could not do 4. Yeah, it was a long. I was up early then too, and just baking like constantly. But I didn't have to transport it. And people were coming to my door, ding dong the bell and getting their bread.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So
I baked with Dutch ovens, right? When I was at baking at its best, I baked with Dutch ovens. 12 of them. I was slinging 12 Dutch ovens at a time.
Right.
And I burned myself all the time. I don't know if you see. I call these baking tattoos. I got burns from the Dutch ovens all the time.
Interesting.
So yeah, it's crazy. Now I'm in a professional deck oven, 4-deck oven with a stone.
Right.
It's a different process.
And you could bake more quicker, I guess?
Yeah, you can bake more. My capacity's increased.
So what happens because we talked about it out there in the green room, we'll call it that, right?
Green room?
Yeah.
When you think you'll hit your capacity, and what will be your next steps for your business?
For me, it's sort of getting a driver.
Okay.
So my daughter's helping me. My eldest daughter's helping me do deliveries right now.
Will does Uber?
Yes.
I do not. I couldn't have people in my car. I'm uptight about that.
Yeah. So that to me is sort of the next step. Securing proper delivery.
Oh wow.
And then take on somebody else to help me with a different line of product. I like to do other types of breads as well. Gotcha breads, baguettes and stuff. So yeah, so hopefully to expand upon that.
Right.
But the complexity of having another person would be my next growth step. And then I'm trying to introduce people want to come to my store and buy bread, and I'm kind of
that would be your next.
and I'm slowly getting there, but I'm sometimes I go out on delivery, so I can't be open all the time,
Right.
and I don't have like a traditional storefront where you can walk in and go, oh, I'll take this loaf, I'll take that loaf. I mean, I don't have that, but I'm working towards it. It's just me, so it takes time to put it together. So I'm still evolving. Still evolving.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So how does somebody find you and order bread?
So you can find me on my website, which is breadchubby.com. My socials are all at BreadChubby. So if you look up BreadChubby anywhere, even on X or Twitter, I don't really go on there that much, but I think I'm on there.
What is X? Yeah.
I'm not quite sure. But yeah, Instagram, Facebook, you can find me. Just look up BreadChubby. Durham Region Eats, if you look up BreadChubby, you'll see posts there too, I'm sure. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
Interesting. And so again, if people want to order from you, how much lead time should they give you? Because I know it's the holidays now, so people get busy.
Yeah, ordering from me is a bit tight right now because I moved to the new spot and I'm trying to support the stores. Mm-hmm. So the best thing is to go and look where my bread's sold and pick it up there. Okay. You can order from breadchubby.com, but you could be like 2 weeks, 3 weeks out.
All right. So, but someone wants your bread, they can go to
breadchubby.com. They can order right from there, pay there. Order comes to me, and then I'll reach out to them and confirm that they can choose a date as well. Right now, it's just a little bit limited.
Do you have a list of the stores where you can find it all, or?
Yeah, there's a list on. I think there's a list on Instagram.
Okay.
Of all the different locations. Yeah. And every day, like when I'm posting, I announce where the bread is.
You do a great video every day, actually. I do love that. I do love that.
I try to do creative stuff. Literally in between, like bread coming out of the oven, I'm filming something.
Very active on social media, which I appreciate. So BreadChubby at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn.
Yeah, well, my personal name on LinkedIn. But
Jonathan Walsh on LinkedIn. Again, go to his website, breadchubby.com, to connect with him. Thank you. Am I supposed to be done now here? You're blocking my...
We're done. We're
done here. All right. Thank you, Jonathan.
Thaning you guys. It was great.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate your passion.
Amen.
And we appreciate your bread. I do want 2 of that Christmas loaf.
Four.
Sorry, 4. You want 2 for yourself, right? Yeah, so 2 for me, 2 for Riyadh, but I ordered first of those loaves, and we're very excited to try it.
You like me better, so...
Yeah, just go to breadchubby.com. And you can take care of all that yourself.
It's a very good site. And what's in that bread exactly? Just so I can visualize it.
What's in the bread?
In that bread, exactly.
Okay, so all my bread is simple.
Yes.
It's flour, water, and salt. That's the base of all of my breads. There's no mold inhibitors. If you go to the grocery store and you see bread, you see like 14, 15 different ingredients. Mine's just flour, water, and salt. That's it.
Right.
Now, if you add cheese, et cetera, the ones you're talking about, the cranberry brie, it's brie cheese. I mean, I make everything by hand, so I cut up all the brie cheese and sweetened cranberries goes in there. So yeah, descriptions are on the website too. You can, when you're ordering, you can see the descriptions.
My mouth started to water.
I know.
I was
I'm getting hungry.
Toasting that with butter. Favorite local business?
There's a lot. And I've gotten a lot of support from business too, by the way.
Actually. Yes.
I will say that.
We have good product.
Yeah, local businesses have been excellent in supporting me, and they're enthusiastic about my product as well. I order takeout sometimes because I don't always have a lot of time to cook. I do like to cook, and I love Indian food. I mean, I love.
I don't know anything about Indian food.
Yeah, Indian food. Love Indian food. So Charminar, I've been ordering a lot from them. Their curries are like fantastic.
And where are they located in?
I think there's a spot in Pickering, but there's one just up on. I think it's Pickering.
Okay.
They have a little express store. Excellent curries.
Okay.
Karahai, I don't know if I'm saying this right. Karahai Point. That's in Ajax. I think it's a Pakistani place. But they're excellent. The food is fantastic. But their mantra? Like if you need food and you have no money, they'll feed you.
Yeah, I love that.
Wonderful people that run the store.
That's great.
Yeah, really, really nice. So, I mean, there's lots of great places, to be honest, right? But it's tough. I don't really eat out a lot that much. But those are 2 places that I most frequent quite a bit.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Yeah. Thank you, Jonathan. Again, BreadChubby on all socials, breadchubby.com. In my opinion, because I'm biased, best bread in Durham region. And reach out to him. He's fantastic. Thank you for coming.
Thanks, guys, for having me. Appreciate it.
Awesome.